Hello vinyl community. Today is the 4th of July, so if you hear any explosions in the background, don't be alarmed. I'm making a video today to talk about one of my favorite present-day jazzmen, Mr. Anthony Braxton. I just received a new copy of one of my very favorites from him. From 1974, the album is Trio and Duet on the Sackville label from Canada. And as the title suggests, this is half trio and half duet. The side that really blows my mind is the trio side, side one, which is Braxton with Leo Smith on the trumpet, flugelhorn, and percussion and small instruments, and Richard Teitelbaum on the modular Moog synthesizer system. So this was under a category of free jazz when I bought it. And free jazz is a funny term, because I think of free improvisation when I hear the term. This is not just a trio improv. This is very much a composition with sections that have unison playing from the clarinet. Braxton plays mainly clarinet on the trio, both the regular clarinet and the contrabass clarinet, the big old paperclip. It starts out with just the Moog making whooshing and hissing noises, and the clarinet and muted trumpet enter, playing a long, slow, unison melody. Eventually, they break apart, and there is a silence. It just goes right down into silence, which is broken by a single bap on a drum, and this goes into the more improvised section. There are so many different colors and textures that they explore. This includes a part where Braxton switches to the chimes and Smith plays these trumpet flurries. Just about halfway through the piece, there's another section of the trumpet and the clarinet playing another long, slow, unison part, while the Moog is more assertive than it was during the first part. The Moog becomes quite noisy, quite aggressive underneath the duo, and then in the second part has a lot of very spacey bits. Also during the next improv section, Braxton switches to the contrabass clarinet. And again, all the different colors, textures, instrumental sounds that go on through this sidelong piece are just wonderful. Finally, it resolves itself into a closing statement of unison between the clarinet and the trumpet, this time with the Moog joining in and playing pitched notes along with them. So that's how it all goes out. The second half of the album is Braxton doing duets, alto sax and bass with Dave Holland. And the pieces are all standards, so he's doing the American Songbook thing. He does You Go to My Head, The Song Is You, and Embraceable You. And this is very much a contrast to side one. It's very post-bebop. Holland plays a lot of walking bass in a very up way, but even though they're standard tunes, Braxton does create a very abstract setting for them, so it's at times hard to even register the melody that you're hearing. So extremely creative music from Anthony Braxton, and I thought I'd show some of my other Anthony Braxton albums. from 1968, the 3 compositions of New Jazz. This is not the original cover. This is the version that I've had since the 70s, but I guess the original had a different picture on the cover, different design. And the one simply titled Anthony Braxton on the Actuel Big Series. Not an original. This is a recent reissue. Recital Paris 71, where he does a solo alto sax version of Duke Ellington Come Sunday for the side 1 piece, which is almost half an hour long, and a piano improv of an original piece, or probably not an improv, it's one of his compositions with the alphabet soup titles for side 2. Strangely titled The Complete Braxton, double LP from 1971. Donna Lee, great cover with the clarinet. He's doing Charlie Parker's Donna Lee, spelled D-O-N-A Lee here, and an original piece, and then 2 versions of You Go to My Head, which we also heard on the Trio and Duet album. Saxophone Improvisations Series F. This one was released in America as a single LP. This is the French original double set. Another live solo recital, Moore's Festival from 1974. On the Ring label. '76 duo album with George Lewis, Elements of Surprise, on Moore's Music. So, trombone with alto, soprano, saxes, and clarinet. Also on the Moore's Music label, 7 compositions, 1978. This is a quartet with Ray Anderson on trombone, John Lindberg on bass, and Thurman Barker on drums, marimba, and bells. And you get the, by this time, evolved into very colorful geometric as well as alphabet soup titles. And this is Günter Hampel with Anthony Braxton and Jeannie Lee, Family, billed as a collective composition. And I have a couple of other Günter Hampel albums that feature these same people, just with a larger lineup. The earlier one, the 8th of July 1969, which has Günter Hampel, Braxton, Jean Lee, plus Willem Breuker, Anjan Gorter, and Steve McCall on drums. And finally, Enfant Terrible with Hampel, Braxton, Lee, Perry Robinson on clarinet, Mark Whitecage on alto flute and alto clarinet, Thomas Kaiserling on flute and tenor, Jack Gregg on bass, Martin Buis on drums, plus Ruomi. So that's about it. We're up to about 10 minutes, so I've taken up enough of your time. Happy 4th of July to those of you in this country, and happy 4th of July to those of you in any other country. It's still the 4th of July if it's not too late. Be well. Talk with you soon.